Okay, well, the first thing we have to do is welcome all the members who showed up here for this special show. Not very often we get these two guys together in real life or on camera, but this is a special occasion. How does it feel, guys? 10 years? A long journey? Anybody want to say anything before I start grilling you with questions?
Well, first, just I want to apologize at the beginning to anyone who tuned into the show and expected something amazing. It's really just going to be two guys reminiscing about 10 years of work. So if that's what you want to do with your time, that's on you.
I think we'll be getting to some amazing stuff here pretty soon because you guys at the end of the show will be playing a Blitz game. But I think for people that have been on the site for years, especially, it's kind of cool to see you guys together. And I think the first question has to be, how did this odd couple relationship come together? And are there different versions of that story?
That's a great point. So I'm going to go to the very first moment I ever saw Jay Severson, which was at our first week of college. I was moved into my dorm room, and I walk into the bathroom, and there's a dude brushing his teeth at the sink. And I went and used the bathroom, and then I came back out, and he was still brushing his teeth. And being the smart aleck I am, I said, "Dude, what's up? Is your dad a dentist? Like, why are you taking so long brushing your teeth?" And then he
Look at
like
those
looked me
pearly
like,
whites, though. Look at those pearly whites. Jay was taking care of it.
and then I left. And then then Jay can tell the next part of the story.
Yeah, I remember that story as being like maybe 20 seconds of brushing teeth time. And I think every time Eric remembers it, it turns into like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of brushing teeth. So
Right.
it's a little bit different of memory. And maybe, is it too dark on my camera? Should I like turn on a light so you can see how bright white my teeth are? I don't know.
We can tell the investment paid off. We'll just leave it at that. But
All right.
the I think the next follow up is then when did chess come in and who is the better chess player now? Who's the better chess player then and who's the better chess player now?
So clearly back then it was me, no doubt. So I picked up chess a little bit earlier than Eric. It was high school for me. I think I was a sophomore in high school when I decided to join the chess club. I started traveling around playing in tournaments. I think by the time I left high school, I was about 1750. And then I showed up to college, and lo and behold, there was basically no chess club. So I went to the school body there and the student association, and they had a box left over of chess equipment, an old banner, a chess club banner. And they basically said, "Look, chess club's all yours." Handed me a box of random materials, and I started doing chess club very next week. So that's kind of how I got into chess at college. And I met Eric, like he said, in the dorms. And I still remember walking down the hall one day, a couple days after he had made fun of my teeth hygiene. And I noticed that him and his buddy, sheltered boys from Orange County that they were playing a game of chess on the floor. And I could just tell from a couple moves that there were hanging pieces. There were, H-file openings going on. So, I just said, I'll get the next game. I'll take winner, and continued to, kind of put a hurting on both of them. So
I did win that game, but then Jay played, and
right.
he annihilated me so badly. So badly. What did I say almost immediately after you just destroyed me?
You wanted lessons, I think.
That's right. You need to teach me. Right? And this is in 1995.
This is 95, and
Yep.
you offered to pay me $7 an hour. I still remember.
Yeah, that's right.
What Want to remind everybody in the chat who's joining us, thanks everybody for being here. We're monitoring both the Twitch chat and the Chess TV chat, and all of your questions. Bring them on, hard-hitting questions or fun questions about Eric and Jay personally. You don't get a chance to get to know the guys who really got the whole thing started here. So any questions, please bring them. I'm keeping track of the chat, and we are going to bring those questions to these guys soon. But Eric, so despite the fact that Jay was the stronger chess player and the one who kind of opened your eyes to the fact that somebody could just crush you like that at a board game.
Yeah.
Chess.com is not your first chess business, though. You initially, so you caught this lesson from Jay when he crushed you, but you caught the chess bug pretty hard, right?
Oh, yeah. I went deep. And, I went to the bookstore, started buying books, reading, studying, and it was like falling into a rabbit hole of like knowledge, right? At first I started to Jay would mention some openings, and I'm like, wait, let me write these down. I started indexing like openings on note cards, and he's like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. Anyway, so I bought chess books. Then I got really into it. I started studying, and all that stuff. And then, eventually I went and started teaching chess to kids in elementary schools, like a lot of people do. And eventually started a whole kind of company around doing that. We were teaching chess in like 100 schools, after school programs. And while I was doing that, that was called Schoolhouse Chess. You can look it up. I don't know if they're still around. I eventually like sold that business off to someone else. But what I started doing, what made me interested then was, this was kind of like at the time of the rise of the internet. So I started buying this chess equipment and like then reselling it online. And then I said to Jay, who was still my friend, like, Jay, I need you to help me build a website. He's like, oh, I don't want to build websites for friends. I'm like, no, I'll give you a percentage of the company. And so he helped me build the website. So I started this other company called, at the time, it was called Wholesale Chess. And, that company's still around and still operating. I don't own it anymore. But so again, I started this Schoolhouse Chess one. I did that. Then I started Wholesale Chess, and that quickly became like the top retailer. I don't actually know who's the top retailer in chess now. But then, I kind of sold that company to someone else. Then I went to graduate school. And then while I was at graduate school, well, before that, when I was doing this other company, Wholesale Chess, I'm like, man, the internet is coming. It's big. Like, there's no great online chess community. You can play places, you can do different things, but like, there's no main chess. Like, there's no Yahoo of chess where you've got all this stuff. And that's where I started looking at communities and then identified Chess.com. And then I came to understand that the domain, that company that owned Chess.com was going bankrupt and was having an auction. And so threw my hat in the ring for that and won that auction. And then I'm like, Jay, we get you to another chess business. And Jay was like,
No.
He was almost as enthusiastic as he was the first time around.
I mean, it's funny because as much as I love chess, I was pretty familiar with a lot of the chess companies that had come and gone over the years. I'd played on Fix in college when the internet was super young and hard to use, and everything was command-based and console-based. I had played on Kasparov Chess, and I knew that they had a big Israeli dev shop, and it raised a bunch of money. And I'd kind of seen them go through their struggling years. So I just knew, I was actually very impressed with Eric's ability to take a passion in chess and run not one, but two successful companies. And I was like, you're really pushing your luck trying to do a third. But I remember going into his warehouse in Utah and seeing, just hundreds of thousands of dollars of chess equipment stacked on huge rows in a warehouse, and just being blown away that there was actually that much demand for chess equipment. So I didn't really want to parlay that into a third one. I was pretty happy with the second success that we had together. And I don't know. I mean, if it wasn't for Chess.com and having that domain name, I would have definitely said no. But given that we had the domain name in our lap and we had a chance to run with that, although, I don't know if people know this, our ambitions for Chess.com when we first got it were extremely low. It was basically a three-prong attack. It was offer at Chess.com emails, which we thought would be super cool because back then everybody wanted to have like an at something really cool email address. What's cooler than at Chess.com? We wanted to offer links to other existing chess websites that were out there so that when you were looking for a place to play or looking for chess news or whatever, that we would be the source for telling you which were the good chess websites to visit and where to find your chess equipment. And then we also wanted to offer a community. So that, community back in 1998 or 99, back when I was getting used to the internet, was basically forums. So that's really all we were doing was we were looking at different PHP-based, bulletin solutions. And so we looked at vBulletin. We were going to just like basically roll that up and offer forums. And that was kind of it. It was forums, it was email addresses, and it was a link directory.
And I want to get to how that kind of evolved into some of the first initial team members where you guys started experiencing maybe a little more traffic than you thought, a little bit more success. And then how did that sort of start shaping into some of the godfathers we know today, the guys like Piotr, the architect of live chess, and Matt Helfs, the Chess.com original, the man behind the scenes. So how did it kind of, what took it from that vision? I think a lot of people are curious about that sort of, we're just going to be a portal and I'll help have people get to all the other chess sites to, oh my gosh, maybe we should actually try to offer some of these services ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we originally, like Jay said, we started like trying to build Chess.com on these existing systems like vBulletin or Drupal or whatever. And pretty soon Jay's like, let's just do our own. And so he like, so I started like learning more how to code HTML and CSS, and I would build these pages in Macromedia Dreamweaver, and I would build these pages, and Jay would then take them and like put the PHP in, and like it was, basically it was just the two of us. And like it just kept getting bigger and more popular. And we spent some time like kind of building our own thing, and we had just traffic kept growing, and then we launched, and then people started joining up. We don't even know how still. Some of the initial people, and then eventually like enough people were using it, and we had enough features. And we're like, man, I personally cannot handle doing both building this website and doing the business side and doing like customer support and community management. We need to hire somebody. And that's where, I think Matt Helfs was on the site as a user. And I think we posted like, hey, does anyone need a job like doing this stuff? And he's like, and so that's how that started. And then like we got featured on, we got like a heads up, I think, that like, hey, you guys are going to be on TechCrunch. It was like, what? This is crazy. And I think Jay in like 36 hours of no sleep built the very first version of like the daily chess, correspondence chess. And then we were like on TechCrunch, and then like things kept going and growing. And then eventually like we need like real-time play, but we didn't want to do like a downloadable. So I started Googling around for Ajax was the big thing back then. So I looked for Ajax chess, and this weird Polish website came up, and I like emailed the guy. And that was Piotr. And then
I just love the weird Polish website came up.
it was like 64 something.pl. But it looked cool, but no one was playing on it. So I emailed him like, hey, I want to play chess on your site. He's like, well, let me schedule a time. And we like, we had to email each other to schedule a time to play against each other. But then we kind of worked out a deal to do it. And
yeah, I want to piggyback on that. The project management between me and Eric back in those days was so funny. I mean, we had no systems. We didn't use any third-party software. Eric would literally give me, it was like a bullet point of like, here's everything you need to do. And it would take me on average 1 to 2 days to cross off like the minor bullet point issues, login, authentication, et cetera, et cetera. Every time I would check back to that list, there was 20 new items, and I had crossed off 2. And then I'd cross off another 2, and there was 20 more items. And I'm telling you, this bulleted list got to be hundreds of items long. And that was basically my daily to-do, was wake up, look what else Eric had added to the list of to-dos, and we would slowly just cross one off one at a time. And I don't know if that's still around somewhere, but man,
I still have it.
It was a long, long list of to-dos.
I think you still have a new one running. Some things never change,
do.
right? So despite, thank you everybody for being here again. This is a special State of Chess.com show. We have the co-founders with us, Jay and Eric, and in case you missed it, on Wednesday was the official 10-year anniversary of the site, and so we're kind of going through the story. Ask your questions in the chat. Our team members are keeping track of some good ones, and I've already got some lined up. But I want to go to the next funny thing is somebody even asked about the hierarchy or who owned the ownership group. We're not going to get into all the equity, but a funny thing I'll just start with is a lot of people have always thought I own Chess.com, and I'm not even one of the original employees, right? So let's take people through like, how did that start, right? I think I'm in the top 10, and I'm just one of the luckiest guys in the world to be here. But there were so many people. There's Eric and Jay and Piotr and Matt and David and Kohide. You guys take us through a little bit more about how the team expanded and how quickly it became what it was.
It's crazy to say it. Go ahead.
Sorry, let me do the tech side, since those guys are often forgotten. The guys behind the scenes that don't get to talk to the users very often, but are responsible for a lot of the magic that goes on in making the site function. So, at my day job, before I decided to quit and do Chess.com full time, I was a 9-to-5 team lead engineer at a real estate website company. We built websites for real estate agents and brokerage firms, and there was this totally killer Unix guy that knew everything about servers, and his name was Igor Grinchenko. And he was so good at what he did that his license plate literally is Unix rules. So somebody's hardcore when they're driving around a car with a license plate that says Unix rules on it, right? So shortly after starting Chess.com and getting way over my head, in Linux and Unix and FreeBSD and all things, server related. I tapped Igor and said, hey man, could you do some server support for us on the side? And he said, sure. And he started setting up servers for us. We started buying bare bones machines. I had another friend that I had worked with back in the gaming days who was now running a hosting company. So we asked him if he could host our servers down in LA. And then the other guy that joined the team very early on is definitely a godfather, Ben Curtis. I had worked with him at a previous company where we had kind of worked at a failed startup called iMooch, which is another story I could get into and talk to him about a long time. But Ben came on as a part-time consultant, and I think one of the very first projects he worked on for us was the map, right? We wanted to show a map of where all the users were in real time with like little pegs, and we were using Google Maps for that. So that was a very hard project that Ben came on and tackled that for us, and has been with us ever since. So those were kind of some of the first technical hires on the team, was Ben and Igor. Really helped, on the database side of things. So want to give a shout out to those guys.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the team, we again, like you mentioned, we went and we were looking for a chess professional to kind of help us as we grew, kind of guide us, on the professional side, to help us with deals and to help us kind of get the perspective to create content. And so we went to this open chess tournament in Berkeley. And that's where we met a bunch of guys, including David Pruse, who was one of the very first. And David was, as you guys know, just very calm, very professional, very cool. And we went to dinner, and David and I were spending a lot of time kind of talking with really like mature ideas. And there was this like extremely loudmouth, boisterous, overconfident other guy who just would not stop telling me all the stuff I was doing wrong, all these ideas, and like was asking me if I wanted to join him on his adventure. And like, that was Danny. And
that story, and that is the very polite to me PG version of that story. So I appreciate that. I had just made IM, okay, and I was confident. I was flying high at this tournament, and obviously Eric and Jay showed up, and I had started a little bit of my own venture online because of, so I had stopped playing so much and traveling because of some health issues. But long story short, I thought what I was doing was going to be the Chess.com. Not only was I not qualified, I had no idea what I was doing. And I don't think our relationship got off on the best start. But let's roll past that. And
we hired a whole bunch of other amazing people to beginning. Like you mentioned, Kohai or Jules. She came on as like the community mom and was with us for many years in that role of dealing with all the members. I think she probably knows, like, of our 17 million members, she probably knows, 170,000 of them by username and personality. Right. And then we had Michael Green, who came on. He was like our QA guy and product. And we had all these just early team members. I know I'm forgetting some people, and my apologies to those I'm forgetting. But, we just started, and then we got to like 10 people, and we're like, man, 10 is like kind of where we're going to go. And that, I think this is about the main size of our company here.
And I was going to, go ahead, Jay.
I also wanted to point out that so much of our success early on was really attributed to our community and our users. We had some people jump on our site really early on who I think saw the potential and the vision of what we could become as a user-driven community site. And so, one name that kind of sticks in my memory is Batgirl. I don't even know her real name, but I just know that she would post as Batgirl. And she got on there and posted a bunch of stuff. I know we had another guy.
Son of Pearl was another one very early on. Yeah.
There was quite a few of those people who got on and really started populating our site with a lot of content, which really helped the SEO. It helped us, get recognized with important content that users had a reason to go there and read and comment and stick around and come back. So, a lot of this was not what was done by the employees, but what was done by the users on the site.
Was it a sign that maybe more people liked what you guys were doing than you thought would when you offered the Lifetime Diamond membership and sold way more than you ever thought you would in a small amount of time, and were like, wait a second, maybe we should roll this back a little bit? In fact, Michael Green is maybe the first Lifetime Diamond member who's like, are you kidding me? This is a steal. $500, nothing. So how did that feel as the membership base started to grow into more than just people using it, but people showing you that there was a large amount of people in the world who wanted to get better at chess and were interested in accessing puzzles and lessons and content and
it was really weird for us because Jay and I, again, we didn't, a lot of people go out to do a business and they like raise money and they do all this stuff, but it was just me and Jay and kind of organically growing. And as we had more people join the team, we needed money to pay them. I had made a little bit of money selling some of my other two chess companies. And so I was basically like bankrolling this whole thing, plus a loan that we got from like one of my friend's moms, like, and which we eventually paid back. But it was basically my money going in. And we're like, man, we need to start paying for this because I can't bankroll this forever. And, Jay wasn't taking salary, I wasn't taking salary, but we had employees and all these things. And so, eventually we were like, man, we got to just do some memberships. And we created these memberships. At first it was like a membership to this chess mentor kind of teaching stuff, which is now called Lessons. And then we're like, well, we need a full site membership. And, it was pretty neat to see people support. And again, like, we've always kind of measured the memberships that people purchase as kind of a reflection, hopefully, of their appreciation of the service we're providing. I mean, we really do every day think about how to make the service better. And so it was really neat to feel validated, like, wow, somebody entrusted us with their dollars that they worked hard for because we're trying to provide something great for them so they can enjoy the game of chess. And so every dollar that we've gotten has really gone back into, okay, how many more hires can we do? And that's why we've grown from a team of 10, then we hit 20, which felt crazy. Then we hit 30, and I'm like, we can't grow beyond 30. I remember distinctly at 45 saying, guys, hard cap at 50. And now we're at like 90 people. And a lot of you are probably like, wait a minute, 90 people? What are you all doing? But it's like 4 Android developers, 4 iPhone developers, like 7 people working at Chess Kid, 10 customer support people, QA people, server teams, all the people doing the back end of the website, the front end of the website, the QA team. Then we've got people doing, full-time translating stuff into Spanish and German and Norwegian and French and, then a translator manager. And it's just like, as this company has grown, there's just been a need to just provide more services and watch the team grow. And frankly, it's been pretty crazy.
And you didn't even mention that the 10 or 15 people. I think people think only about 10 or 15 people work for them. The content team, right? Those are the people they see, like, the Mike and the Peters and the people.
Exactly. The best chess journalists in the world, working for us and doing this, and people creating all the videos that you see, like video editors and stuff. It's unbelievable how much effort goes into providing this service. And we just appreciate all the people who have contributed with memberships to be able to fund that.
I think another important shout out as we're talking about the reasons why Chess.com has been successful too is, all 3 of us are married with kids, and there was a time there where all of our wives were asking us when we were going to get a real job. Yep. Frankly speaking, there was a couple years there.
My 11-year-old still asks me when I'm going to get a real job. So go ahead.
So, I mean, I just know, I don't know if you have a picture of the house where Chess.com started, or if we want to share that or not. But, I mean, we literally worked out of my office, and we have never had an actual Chess.com office building. Everybody has always worked remotely. But for a couple of years there, after I quit my day job, I basically was unemployed with no paychecks coming in. And my wife, who has been watching this broadcast and wanted me to say hi, she was asking me when I'm going to get a real job and bring in some money and put bread on the table. And I said, I really hope this pans out because, it's a great domain. It's a great business. And we're working hard on it. And about 2 years later, we had enough revenue coming in from memberships where it kind of became like an actual real job where, we could pay bills. So,
well, I brought up the house now, and I think one of the coolest things about it is the hose winder in the front yard. I love those things, winding up your hose. I mean, props to you for that. But there you go. That is the upstairs. I remember I visited that house in the early years, and you showed me where you and Eric used to hang out till late in the night, and David would visit, and some of the most critical, fundamental meetings of Chess.com happened in the upstairs of that house.
It was very regular. It was very regular that we would finish at 2 a.m. and then I would drive home like 20 minutes away. I'd drive home and I would be back at 10 a.m. the next morning, and we would just go again and again and again.
Yeah,
it was a grind.
I would work till 4 a.m. most nights. I mean, there was a while where I was doing day job and Chess.com before I quit to do full time, so I was just moonlighting. But yeah, the third story of that house is where the loft was, and that was kind of the makeshift office. And I think we put up a Chess.com banner up there at one point, made that the official office. But it got hot in the summer. There was like no AC up there. We were up there with our shirts off, programming away, sweating away. It was definitely not a good smell on that third floor.
Well, at the risk of the members thinking we forgot about them, I want to thank them real quick for all the questions that are coming in. Remind you, we're about to get to several questions back to back, but we're just going to ask them. If you got tech questions for Jay, if you've got product questions, and where in the world is the site going, if you have questions about movies from the 80s, I'm your guy. But bring in the questions right now, and we're about to get to it. But I want to kind of hit Eric and Jay with something we prepared. Just get their verbal reactions to some really cool stuff that we prepared for the show, and I don't even know if they knew we were coming with this. So to start, I'm just gonna let you guys know kind of where we've come. Obviously, I want to remind all the staff members, everyone. I mean, just no way we could mention everybody, but this has just been such an amazing ride. I'm super thankful to be a part of it. Eric and Jay, how do you feel going from the story you just described to now where we're at? 31,000 clubs. 11.7 million forum posts and comments. Just like, give me like one word reactions to each of those.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is just so outstripped any potential vision we ever had for it. And it really just shows the power of community and the power of the game of chess, which is a phenomenal, like amazing cultural thing. And it's just, I feel so lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty mind blowing, and I think it always kind of humbles me a little bit or wows me a little bit when I'm out somewhere random and somebody sees I'm wearing a Chess.com hat and is like, "Oh, I play on Chess.com. I love Chess.com," and I'm just like, it's unbelievable how it's not really a household name, but you run into people here and there that play and use the site quite a bit. And every now and then a friend of mine will be like, I met somebody at work and they play on Chess.com. I want to let you know,
Yep.
It's just pretty cool how, everybody kind of has heard of it or has used it or knows somebody who uses it at this point.
Well, people must be using it at work, regardless of what their bosses think, because there's about 29,000 of them online right now playing Blitz games instead of watching this. So the next numbers for you to digest: 17,811,517 registered users, 3,600 plus title players. That's kind of a journey right there. Going from, I remember the years in the early years of us getting online, and it was like me and David were the only title players on the site, right? And we were just wondering, how in the world can we ever offer a product that people would be interested in at that level? And I remember the mission as we continued to strive and look for investments and just invest in things that would make title players want to hang out and play more games on our site. Watching that number grow has been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, having grown up in the tournament scene in high school and watching like revered people like Walter Brown walk around the tournament hall and these other grandmasters that I would just look up to them as like a 16-year-old and be like, man, I wish he would just look at me. I wish he would just talk to me, and now to be in a TV session with the famous Danny Wrench that I can't go anywhere without people asking, Danny, look at my game. Danny, take a picture with me. So, going from wishing I could just talk to some of these famous grandmasters to now actually being able to work with them and employ some of these people and let them do what they love for a living. I think it's really cool. It's very cool to actually provide a workplace for a lot of these people who've devoted their lives to chess.
This next number is just, to me, it's my favorite. It just, I get, when I tell people this, it's mind blowing. And I think I just checked, and the team can confirm this in the chat. I literally just checked yesterday if it was a bug, because I can never believe that we have 1.5 million games played a day plus on the site. 1.5 million games played every day of chess. When you tell people that, and 62 million daily games played total right now, and 1.5 billion games played total. So those numbers, I mean, that's not a bug, right? I mean, seriously, I have to confirm every day.
It means too many people are playing 1-0 lightning bullet chess. That's what that means, Danny.
It does mean that, actually. It means that we've
had like several formal complaints from the U.S. Department of Labor just unhappy with our killing off. No, I'm just kidding. We haven't. But a lot of people get to enjoy chess. I mean, me personally, if I'm standing in line at the bank or something and I see that there's like a 10-minute, even a 5-minute line, I'll play a quick game of chess while I'm just standing in line. I mean,
right.
It's amazing.
Yep. And the last one I wanted to bring up was a fun one for content. 174,000 news pieces written, 6,500 articles, 121,000 blogs, which is really just such a testament to our community. I mean, really, those are the users interacting and telling their own chess stories, and so a lot of them have pictures and they're stories from tournaments. Some of them are stories about a brilliant game they played online, and that's awesome. More than 1,600 videos.
Let me just say on that article point, Eric has written some really great articles. If you look up Eric's profile, go read some of his articles about I think there's some of the history of Chess.com or some other ones on there that are really good series to read. So.
And the final one of numbers is 914 million puzzles attempted. We're almost to reach the billion puzzles, right? A million puzzles isn't cool. A billion puzzles is. That's going to be a fun one when we reach a billion puzzles attempted.
We've got to figure out a nice Easter egg to put into the code, so when the user does that 1 billionth puzzle, something magical happens on their screen.
It's true.
All right, well, let's give the fans what they want. Let's ask a few questions here, and then we're going to dive into finally putting all the bets aside. We've had a private Slack room you guys weren't in. We got bets on who's going to win the Blitz game between you two. But let's get to some questions here, and there were a lot of them. Apologies in advance, of course, everybody, if we're not able to get to your questions. But I'm trying to bring them up right now, because we have so many of them. So let's see. So from user Zol46, he wants to throw out a new idea for the app. He wants to import positions by taking a picture of it with his phone and have the picture read a fen. First of all, I love that idea. Eric, feasibility on that.
We've looked into this before. There was another company that was kind of working to do that. A tremendous amount of challenges around doing it. It's kind of been done, but it's a really tough challenge to solve. And I do think that, several companies like Google who are pushing forward on picture recognition, will eventually kind of unlock some of that. But I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I mean, if the search engines are getting to pictures, why not take a picture and that fen can upload it instantly to computer analysis? Maybe that's the future. But tech question from user C Singe for Jay, I think. He wants to know quickly if you could just run through the different tech stacks that are used on the site. He's interested in the infrastructure that we use to power Chess.com.
Sure. We've always been a LAMP stack from the beginning. So, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. That was kind of where we started. Obviously now we've modernized a lot of things. So we're more Nginx than we are Apache, but we use a lot of Java for the live chess. Our front end is a ton of JavaScript, and we're kind of in the process of going from Angular 1X to Vue. But yeah, mostly a PHP shop. Most of the developers we hire are PHP, but obviously as we're modernizing, we've got a bunch of iOS guys and we got a bunch of Android guys. So hope that answers the question.
Legendary Harley, I guess I'll let you answer the question, Eric. He wants to know how Shark Tank went. Are we at a place to talk about this yet?
We're not going to be on the show. I don't know. There's no other way to say that. Even if we were going to be on the show, I'd have to tell you we're not going to be on the show, but we're not going to be on the show.
Yeah, and we're not lying about that. Not to say it wasn't a great ride, and I think we got really far along. We're not even allowed to talk about kind of how far we got along in case something changed their mind, really, and that's true. But right now, I think I don't know what it was, but I think they just looked at Eric and they were like, if he's on camera, it might just break the lenses in a good way. In a good way. I don't know. Okay. What's the so another question is what's the main sources of income? Well, I think this is a fun one to ask Jay, because I know at one point your main source of income was the $7 an hour you were charging Eric for lessons. Could you tell quickly what your decision was to charge $7 an hour to Eric?
I think back then that was a little bit more than minimum wage, and so I thought it was a great deal for me.
Yeah, and what was weird is that he then turned around and offered me $5 an hour to teach him guitar, which didn't make sense to me.
Well, I think that we're not really going to get into more than that, but I think that obviously Chess.com has just grown beyond so many of our wildest dreams, and it provides such a great service. And that's the best part, is that I think as Chess.com has grown, we've learned more and more that people want to learn, and they want to come here and they want to get access to really cool tools and features. And so there's just all kinds of things people want to do to get better at chess. And I don't know what that is, but it's awesome. And I can never condone somebody trying to get better at chess. But more power to everybody who wants to do it. Tap M, which wants to know for Jay, although this isn't really a question for Jay necessarily. He wants to know about our engine detection strategies. Eric, I'm going to let you take that one for this time.
Yeah, I mean, again, inside those 90-some people that work with us, we've got a team of several people whose full-time job is to work on cheat detection. As Danny said, we're running like a million and a half games a day, and running engines on as many of those as we can. Cheat detection is hard because it's not a preventable crime. It's a little bit like a crime that has to have committed, and there's someone kind of gets injured on that, and that's tough, and we hate that about it. But we do have full-time statistician. We have on contract. We had a Harvard professor statistician for a while to kind of looking over our work. We have 2 people who just full-time, they're just looking through members, looking through games, and doing and addressing all the people who are reporting users. And we do appreciate when you report that. It's a very hard thing. I mean, again, it's difficult to deal with it because it's something that some people do. They make choices. They want to win a game. They cheat in it. And, whether they're cheating in one game or in all of their games, these are hard things. And we don't have webcams looking at them. And so we have to look at the evidence. And, we want to be fair and conclusive. So it's a difficult challenge we have. We really are working hard. We close a lot of accounts every day. We're not public about it, but we close, hundreds of accounts regularly, daily, and including title player accounts, which is really hard for us. And we feel bad about it. But
and if a staff member could share a link to our fair play detection article, it's a little bit more about just kind of what we do, some context, even some testimonials from title players. And anybody who watches some of my regular shows, that I dive into these a little bit, provide a little more of kind of what we do from time to time if you catch me in a good moment. But yeah, we work super, super hard. We've invested in third-party audits of what we do, and it's a very, very, it's grown over time, partly because of the help of you, because we crossed the line where we had so many games being played, we had to find a way to stay ahead of the curve and how to measure the data so we knew whether or not people were cheating. And so it's kind of pushed us to get better and better at it, and I think we'll leave it at that. I just want to say real quick to a question in the Twitch chat. Mani Paleka wants to know, being able to create your own tournaments with friends would be a great option. We actually already have that, and I just did a tutorial on that that'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel later today. So you can create your own tournaments, both daily and live. So that is a thing. And the next question I think is a good transition. We're building up. Okay, I'll do one more, and then we'll do the transition. So, it's a question's about is Eric in a closet? Eric has officially come out of the closet from time to time, but he is in a closet today. Eric, do you want to tell people where you are today?
I'm in my closet. This is kind of where I work. I don't know why. We have a small walk-in closet here, and I work in here often.
I can say why, because sometimes we're in meetings and his son finds him to show him the Legos he's built and stuff like that. So he needs like one moment of peace before the next thing is show. But the next question is a great transition. Go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say, if anybody thinks that working at Chess.com is glamorous in any way, and we've got a nice office with a nice view of downtown Palo Alto or anything like that, it's everything but. I mean, my office is a total disaster. My kids are in here drawing and playing in my room all the time. I got to kick them out and lock the door, and Eric hides in his closet. So
yeah.
It's
no, but it's true though. I mean, it's a company that's really just kind of grassroots, and I think in a lot of ways we've been surprised by how quickly it's grown, and that culture kind of established by you and Eric to always be, really focused on, not necessarily the bottom line's the wrong word, but focused on what really matters and keep it at the core, because we don't know how big this thing's going to grow, and you guys provided kind of the roots of your story, and I think that culture has affected us, and I can speak to that personally because I just threw my back out staying at a Holiday Inn Express because Eric got the cheapest hotel possible when we were auditioning for Shark Tank. I mean, seriously, dude, that was the worst beds we've ever slept on.
It was a shared queen. What do you want?
Eric and I don't sleep well together. We've learned we're a little incompatible. We need to work on our breathing patterns. But the last question that really is a great transition from Tom Petty says, are you guys the same guys behind Gambit? And that is yes. Not necessarily we, but Jay, Eric, and yeah, we've all done a little bit, but Jay especially. And that's a good transition because we're gonna go play a Gambit game right now to decide who gets the white pieces. These two feel like having white is a huge advantage, as if they're super GMs or something. And so they have to play rock, paper, scissors, which has no luck involved, clearly. before they decide who gets white.
Danny, is are we playing a close Sicilian or are we playing the perk? That's pretty much
Right.
what this decides.
That's pretty much it. All right. Well, if you guys want to start a game and hit me with the link, I will be ready to get going because I'm going to observe these two in action, and we're gonna move into the action part of the show. So buckle up, everybody. This is going to be fun.
Jay, you want to create that game?
Yep, I'll send you a link now.
Hang on 1 second. Okay.
All right.
I'm in. Are you going to send the link to Danny?
Yes. Should I send it on Zoom, Danny?
Just send it in Slack in our little private room. Gonna be fun, everybody. Rock, paper, scissors. And I mean, Jay considers himself a super grandmaster at
It says there we go. It disappeared.
I know. I didn't want to. I got to boot up my Slacks. I turned it off. I didn't want to be distracted. Sorry. Here.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna re-invite you, Eric.
Did not come through.
It's coming. It's coming.
You posting it for me?
Yeah. I'm getting the link now, and here it comes.
Okay.
Here we go. It's gonna be fun.
Oh man.
Where are you, Danny? Eric, Danny, Eric. Here we go. Okay, did you get that, Danny?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the game is on. Okay, so round one they drew, both going scissors. Classic Eric and Jay. I wonder how long this gridlock can go. First of all, where is the market for live Rochambeau commentary? This is Eric loses. That's not a big surprise. Eric clearly forgot the algorithm there. Oh, okay.
All right, I see what you're doing, Eric.
I know. You can smell out my strategy here. I don't like it.
Somebody's going to have to throw a curveball here real soon. Eric's trying to play. Yeah, Jay fell for the paper gambit there, everybody. That's known as the paper gambit. I actually have an article coming out on that soon. Here we go.
I hate how much we think alike here.
The winner of this game gets the white pieces in a game that we will be starting a 3-minute blitz game.
All right, so I got 2 wins. I need 2 more for the title here.
The best of 4. If I had to recommend, a strategy, I would say that avoiding Eric's blunder of back-to-back scissors, that's a no-no. So everybody, I mean,
No!
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Now he's up against the wall. It's either a sweep or Jay proves.
Here. Ah, dang it.
Okay.
That was too random.
Not over yet.
Uh-oh, is that 3-3? It's 3-3. Okay.
3-3. The epic comeback is on. This is coming down to the wire. This is what we wanted, everybody.
No!
Oh, Eric comes all the way back.
Comeback story.
How did you? I think I jinxed you, Jay, because I already had the game typed out with you being white. Oh man, I didn't think you were capable of blowing such a lead, but I forgot about the last time we played Battleship. So Jay loves games. He's got lots of stories about that. It doesn't mean he's any good at them, but he does love them, right?
That's
I mean,
That's right.
If people don't know, Jay was the first world champion StarCraft player, professional StarCraft player. So
and that is legit,
that's
actually.
connection.
And his APM at one point rivaled, if you don't speak actions per minute, then first of all, good for you. That means you're making healthy decisions and you're not watching hours of League of Legends. But second of all, it means that Jay used to have an actions per minute. Like, what would you compare your actions per minute to Hikaru Nakamura and Bullet? Like, how fast were you?
Oh man, that's really hard to compare to Hikaru there. But I think that the pro players today get around 400. They didn't have APMs back when I was playing, but people that used to watch me said you're really fast. So whatever that means, I don't know. It was probably in the 300s would be my guess. But
all right, everybody. Well, if you have any final questions, I will pay attention to the chat while doing commentary here. This is going to be fun. They're going to play a blitz game, so let's find out who is the better chess player. This game pretty much means all right here.
Who's going to blunder first?
Who's going to blunder first?
So should I challenge Eric, or how we do
No,
it?
I'm going to start the game if you're both in the live server right now. And here we go.
Will that let me play on my phone, Danny, or not?
Oh, I don't know.
I would
It's
love
gonna
to
be
play
hard
on
to
my
set
phone.
up.
Sorry,
I don't
what's
know
that?
if we can do that.
If you go to your phone and load up on Watch Top Games, then you can receive it.
All right, cool.
Are we ready? Are you in, Jay?
I'm in.
Go to Watch Top Games.
Yep.
That's always fun.
Sorry.
Let's see. Why don't you guys match each other then?
Oh, I see. I see the game here. Oh no, I'm playing against Snowstorm. Who's Snowstorm?
Yeah, that's why it's not working, because you already started a game.
Okay, here we go. I'm going back into live. I quit that one.
You going on the computer?
Yeah, I was playing the computer.
Good. I'm ready. Danny?
Waiting for Jay to be in.
I'm here. I'm in live chess.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's not working. Why don't you guys just challenge each other and I'll
Okay.
follow you.
All right.
3-2, right?
Yeah, 3-2.
Here we go.
Game on.
Right. Do you see it?
Yep.
Yep. Close Sicilian. So
You guys
Eric
have the history here is just so many close Sicilians.
yeah, when did you commit to this?
My goal is basically to kingside fianchetto 100% of the time in every game I play.
Right.
So I play the Gleck, I play the King's Indian attack, I play the fianchetto in the center counter. I mean,
You
play it
fianchetto. You were fianchettoing before it was a thing. I mean, you're all about it. Jay, Knights on the Rim are grim, bro. Knights on the Rim are grim.
I love Knight H6 against this opening.
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
The only thing you have to not do in the closed Sicilian is play Knight F6 as black. If you're not Judith Polgar, don't play that. But it's just the only real thing is just to avoid Knight F6. Because you have to be prepped to play your own F5.
Yeah, and this is gonna start heating up here real quick. Jay, breathe, Jay.
I hate playing on my trackpad. I was going to play on my phone, but I can't.
I know that's so much fun to play on the phone these days.
It is. I love it. All right.
The experience is so great. So Eric committed to subpar openings as a part of his repertoire long ago, as he was just saying with the fianchetto. But I think Jay is almost giving him a run for his money here today. This is I don't want to say too much. I realize the best I can do is trash talk you guys because I don't want to start.
Man, this is wild. I've never seen this. All right.
I know.
Here it comes. Wild chess is commencing.
Danny, can you please talk with a Russian accent?
Which Russian? Would you like Ukrainian or would you like?
I want you to be the Russian chess coach that is disgusted with what he's seeing right now.
Right, like Roman when he says this move would. No, I can do Yermo. Well, I've never seen a kingside so open since 1972. Jan Eldest played in Estonia. Okay, no,
bad.
but we have.
I just want to apologize to everybody watching.
About your chess or about my accents? Both likely, right? I mean,
yeah,
I think
really all of the whole package of what's going on.
the whole package. The best question so far is Eric in a closet. It was just I love that. That was the best.
I was afraid to show my camera like any parts of my room. I've got chicken and a biscuit over here. I've got a half drinking Coke, half drinking Gatorade, bottles of water. My room is just a disaster right now.
You're like a developer junkie almost. I mean, that's what you're doing. Plus, your wife's been out of town, right? And so you've been
Yeah.
you've been flying CTO daddy solo this week.
It's been super busy, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Plus, Jay and I don't know if people know this, but Jay and I play on the same hockey team. And you know, he plays a fair amount of hockey. Let's just say it.
Yeah.
I love ice hockey. It is definitely a love of mine. I've always loved to watch it, and now learning to play has been life-changing. But man, it is hard. It is so hard. Way harder than golf, which was my other love before hockey.
And I am so lost. It hurts.
One of the funny things about our meetups is everyone watches our co-founders battle at chess is at some point, usually in the first day, somebody starts setting up a chess set and the crowds drift slowly from all of us sitting typing behind little laptops to everybody playing chess. So there's so many different levels of players there, right? And I think it's funny to know that yes, the people that work on Chess.com are as fascinated and obsessed with chess as you are.
That was a good move, Eric.
Thanks, Jay.
That was a good move. It just created some dysfunction there in Black's immediate threats. I like that.
I'm getting low on time, and I can't move fast with this, so I gotta go. Let's see.
Yeah, we want a time scramble. The fans want to see a train wreck, so let's get a time scramble here.
All right. Hasn't this game been a train wreck enough for you already?
No, honestly, you guys are doing good. I mean, I know how competitive you guys both are, so I don't want to give any more comments than that until the game is over.
All right, I'm gonna get greedy with that pawn.
Read away, dude.
Yes, or Sarah won.
Pawn's a pawn. I don't
I
know
think
what
he
his
says
quote.
greed is your best friend. That may be Yermo, but yeah, a lot of them have the same thing in common. They love pawns.
Sorry, I want to talk more, but I'm so deep in thought on this ugly, messy position. I thought we were playing it close to Sicilian, Eric. What happened?
I don't know what you did. Oh!
Oh no.
Oh! This is no longer a game. No longer a game.
There's always resorting to flagging somebody. Don't have any shame in that.
No longer a game.
The knight or the rook? Guess I'll take the knight.
All right. This is the all-in approach now. Everything's coming to the H-file, Jay.
I gotta get rid of this pawn. It's bugging me like nobody's business here. Huh. Ugh, can't move.
Here we go.
Did I miss something there? Okay. Oh my gosh. Ah! No!
This has rock, paper, scissors comeback written all over it.
It does. Oh my gosh, I blew it. I blew it so badly.
Sorry, Jay.
Eric has always played better from a worse position. He's always played better from behind there. So
There it is. That's it.
that's
Good game,
it.
Eric.
You had me, man.
I cannot. I wish I could play on my phone. I hate playing on this trackpad. But anyway, great game.
All right. Well,
Said
that was
last
fun.
blunder.
I'm honestly shocked. I'm kind of speechless right now. That was a back and forth affair.
It was probably some of the worst chess.
No, that was fun though. All right, well, you know what? I guess that means everybody who had bet on Eric, everyone else, you owe some money. So
We haven't played in a long time though, Eric. It's been a long time since we played a game of chess. I think we got bored of each other because we used to play so much. Our games got really repetitive, where the first 25 moves were always predictable.
Yes.
right. There's a couple of super grandmasters going at it in an opening they've played against each other millions of times. But guys, it looks like the fans have had a great time. We're actually at peak viewers now, so believe it or not, as wretched as that chess game was, people stuck around for that. So that's awesome. People are letting you have it, Jay, for blaming the touchpad, throwing out the Peyton Manning heads, and questions for the.
This ball was totally deflated, man. I'm gonna claim that forever. But hey, now that we've done this, I kind of want to figure out how to get this working with iOS a little bit better, so we can actually start a game and play on your phone or your tablet. So mouse. I need to connect a mouse to my computer. That's what I need to do.
Always improving. Answer your question, King of Endgames. I think you just saw it. Questions for the founders. Do they find much time to play on Chess.com? I think they said they play pretty much as they can on their phone, and like all of us, looking for 30 seconds away from the kids. And can you have a Diamond membership? You absolutely can, but join a Bullet Brawl show later today. I'll be live, and we'll have some fun, and I'll give away some memberships for people that answer my random pop culture questions about John Cusack movies. And I think that's pretty much it. Danny didn't get the memo on a T-shirt day. I'm a little too serious, I guess, with the colored shirt, but. Looking questions, mostly just fun now, guys. So I think that this is a good time. End on a high note, which is Eric winning a position he had no business winning. Maybe that's a good analogy for the future of us, right? This is a great comeback, Eric.
Always let the boss win. Always let the boss win.
Always let the boss win. That's right. All right, guys. Well, unless you want to, I'll let you both say goodbye to the fans. Any final words, and then we'll check out.
Jay, you want to say something?
I mean, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been fun. I look forward to doing this again in another 10 years, or I guess it's 10 years, and then after that it's 25 years, right? 20 years is a weird time to do an anniversary. So maybe in 10 years we'll do this again. But yeah, I mean, always hit me up on Chess.com, username Jay, if you want to message, chat, ask questions, whatever. I try to respond to anybody who has any questions for me. So thanks for tuning in.
I want to echo what Jay said. If you ever have a question, feel free to message me. I am one of the members on the site. I also happen to work here. This has really just been a wonderful 10 years for me to be able to be along for the ride. And really, it's unfortunate that sometimes I get some of the credit, but really the credit's due to the other, 89 or so other people who work for Chess.com, who are so amazing at what they do. It's been an honor for me to interview and then hire so many amazing people and have them join our team. This is really a team effort that I should be the last person to be here on camera. And I just want to say, again, a huge thanks to my wife, a huge thanks to, our team members and every single person and the families behind them who make this happen. I feel like Chess.com is like a stewardship that we have for the game of chess to make it better, to make it more fun, and provide the best possible experience for everybody. And we're working hard every day to do that. So thank you for your patience when we fall short, and thank you for your support when you show it. So thanks.
Awesome. Well said. I just want to say that applied to everybody besides you, Michael Green. I know you're out there watching, buddy. Love you. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And we're going to sign off. Tune in later today for Bullet Brawl's show. That's the next thing on the calendar, trying to get in the habit of reminding people of that. And thank you both for being here and for making this relationship work, right? You made the marriage work, and you've got a lot of kids, and we're all happy to be here. And I'm gonna let that analogy end right there before it gets any more inappropriate. Don't play with marriage analogies, Danny. I learned that one. And just thank everybody for being here. Thanks for the questions. We had a lot of fun, and we'll do this again in 25 years. So bye, everybody.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.